Hello, hello. Can you all hear me? How is everyone doing? I know some people could be disappointed. Hey, little John. Hi, Juan. Hi, Tina. Hi, Adva. We missed you yesterday. Okay, great. Thanks, Juan. Um, so we get a little bit of a different energy this week. I'm going to give you your astrological forecast for the week and how good, you're wonderful today. I love that. Um, and how you can navigate the energy, because that's the thing. The planets are going to do what the planets are going to do. When we want to feel humbled, we only need to look at Mother Nature and the planets in the sky. Hi, Kina. And know that we don't have a whole lot of control over that. I mean, we do have control over global warming, but the rest of it, not so much. And my job is to just kind of let you know what you're in for this week. So you're not surprised. So you don't try to have like the big talk on a day that it's not good to have a big talk, so that you don't uh plan a million things on a day where there might be it might feel like there's a lot of obstacles. And also, we did a workshop in membership. I love our membership. But hey, Vanessa, we did a workshop, a Zoom workshop yesterday. So interactive, people got to ask questions. We used their charts, there was worksheets. And one of the things that I said was the whole point of that was to point out things that you may have thought were wrong with you or what you were doing wrong, and understand that most of that time, those things are superpowers. And that while everybody is special, no one person is special, more special than another, but we are we all are different. We're special in different ways, and we can still have our individuality and have community. We're not meant to assimilate. Our charts are like snowflakes, that everyone is a little different, and we went over that yesterday too. um, and it was really, one of the comments at the end of the class made me cry, because somebody said that they actually, now that they understood that placement, that they felt seen and heard, and their inner child felt seen and heard, because it was something that they dealt with their whole life, feeling like, why aren't they behaving, or why aren't they this, and like, no, they're meant to do other things with that placement than to be like everyone else in their family, or everyone else with their friends. Or astrology shows us the best of us, and it shows us uh the tools. We all have tools in our chart, and when we feel really supported, that's when we do the best. And the first person you need to support you, besides your friendly neighborhood astrologer, is you. So when you understand yourself better through the astrology, then you will support yourself, and others will fall in line in that same manner, because we teach people how to treat us. And the first thing we do to teach people how to treat us is how we treat ourselves, and the words we use towards ourselves. So each week, I'm going to take you through what the personal energies may feel like. If you want to know what's going on in the world, if you want to know where weather events are going to happen, and if you want to watch somebody who's just inhumanly beyond brilliant for what we call mundane astrology, which just means how it affects the whole world, and the job market and the food market and everything else that affects us on a daily basis, please go be following Lori Rivers if you are not following her already over on her Patreon. She has a TikTok, but Patreon, whereas she was live for like 2 hours last night, and you get to speak directly to her when she's live, and her Patreon is amazing. Anyway, I'm going to take you through what it looks like on a personal level, what you can do with that, what you shouldn't try to do with it. You could try, but you might get frustrated. And this is not my monkey, not my circus, not my clowns, not my circus kind of week. And there's just a little part. There's another part of this week where we can get a lot done. And while the Pisces full moon is at the end of the week, I'm going to touch on that a little bit. So stay till the end. I'm going to make the astrology part of this before I start pulling the tarot a little bit more succinct and shorter. Of course, if you want to know what's going on with your chart, membership is great because we do touch on personal charts, but also you can book an appointment. You can go to SuzzyEvolutionary.com if you want astrology. It's going to take you over to the Awake Space, which is where I exclusively book astrology, metaphysical. You can also find just on my website. And very exciting, we launched last night the introduction to trauma-informed tarot. That is a 4-day, well, 4-night, 4-class course with me. It's going to be, it's me. I'm going to give you a lot. I want to make sure that I leave you completely satisfied. And so there's going to be a worksheets, and plenty of time for a Q&A. But we're going to go over the trauma-informed part as for you. So this isn't, we'll have 2 more tiers of this, including the last tier will be for people who actually want to practice and will come with certification. Lori and I are working on that, but this one is great for everyone. It's very inexpensive. I'm also going to give a code at the end of the video for half off, and members have their own code. Go watch the video yesterday to find out that code. That code is in the members only video, which is the biggest discount for members. But it's very inexpensive, and I'm giving out a 50% off code today. But also so that when you are being read for, what is trauma-informed and ethical tarot? How do you know that you're having an ethical card reading? And how do you read for yourself? How you can just use a deck of cards to sharpen your gifts, to make more connection, to create language with your guides, so that, I love those videos that are gibberish. And it's like, this is what I hear when my guides say they have a message, right? Because we need to create language first. We have to interpret, and they are trying to interpret as well. So cards can kind of be that middleman to some degree to build language and understand, and also just sharpen your gifts. So we're going to go over all that in that course, as well as tons of other. This is not memorization. This is not just what the card meanings are. This is not the same as getting that deck that I don't love, because it makes people rely on just the meanings, and it's so much more than that. But also how to do this ethically for yourself, and how to build a better relationship with yourself and understanding through tarot. There's, I want to say, like over 120 reviews on my website, and a lot of them are just about tarot. But most of them include tarot. There's more reviews on Lori's website for astrology, if that's what you're about. But go read them if you're thinking about it, but you don't know, like, well, I don't know your accuracy, lady. Listen, I have Pluto on my ascendant. I'm a little sus of things, so I would get that. Anyway, that is going on, and you can book that over on awakespace or wokeastrology.com. It's over on Lori's page. I will create a link to my page as well for it. And so today, after we go through the astrology, then I will pull cards for each sign for what is already going on in the sky. We like to predict in the context. It's going to make a lot more sense. Yeah, and the class will end up being like 40 something bucks for 4 nights. I mean, that's like $10 for each night's class. It's really very affordable, but if you've been around me a while, you know, if you know, you know, I just want to give you what you need for the empowerment and to make you understand how much you're capable of. Okay. And deconstruct the shame. Fuck shame. There's a lot of not ethical people running around right now because anyone can, it's popular and anyone can hang up a shingle. We'll talk about that in the class too. Okay. Let's get into the astrology, kids. And I'm going to say right now, before anybody gets into the sky is falling, if you see the sky is falling, we're having the full moon eclipse in Pisces and it's going to be crazy. No, the fuck it's not. No, the fuck it's not. Actually, of all the lunations in the next couple of weeks, I really like the full moon in Pisces. If you're in membership, I do the 2 months ahead for what to do with moon water, crystals, how you should be using the energy from each of the either new moon or full moon. And I talk about the Pisces full moon in detail there, and I will do a Pisces full moon special. If you want to see that just on my regular channel, let me know. There'll definitely be one for members. All right. Let's look at there we go. Okay. So that's actually the Pisces full moon that we'll be looking at. And that's Sunday. But I want you to notice that on the East Coast, it's almost 3 p.m. It's almost 3 p.m. during the day. When we have an eclipse that's happening on the other hemisphere, that energy isn't close enough to us to have as much effect on the people and the individuals here. Will they see more of that? That's going to be, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning in Australia. That's going to be, what is that? Like 9 in the morning in England. So very few parts of the world are going to get this full moon. It's mostly water. I think we'll probably see it's a Pisces full moon. And I think we'll probably see some water events. What kind of water events and where? That's a Lori thing. Go out, go follow her. But it's at 15 degrees. It is not talking to the Pluto Uranus trine or the sextile between Neptune and Saturn and Pluto and Uranus. It is not having that conversation. It is conjunct Mercury, but Mercury is applying to the full moon. But Mercury is in Virgo. It's probably going to be very careful with its words, which is okay. And it is having some conversation. It's having a trine with Jupiter in a very loose way, because Jupiter is not, it's not applying, it's in separation. Jupiter and Mars are also starting to finally separate. They have been in a square in cardinal signs, which can feel like a little tense. And we would have felt that for like the last week and a half. And it's finally, during this Pisces full moon, starting to separate, which means it is tantamount to, if you're going to the job interview, if you're going to the date, when you're driving to the job interview, when you're driving to the first date, right? We can have that nervous energy. But then once we connect with that person, either it's good energy because we know the energy's, it's working, or it's not, we don't care anymore, right? either we're like, I really want this job and that went well, or like, I don't want to work for these people. We tend to feel the most nervousness in the applying energy. Once we're walking away from the interview, once we're walking away, we could be excited if we really like the person, right? We could still be happy, but it is not that tense, nervous filled emotion, right? And so the planets are kind of the same way when they are in application, which means the faster planet is applying to the slower planet. It can feel a little bit more tense, a little bit more the anticipation, right? And not that anticipation is always bad, because it's not, but when it starts to separate, it takes the wind out of it. It takes the umph out of it. So we're finally going to get the separation from Jupiter and Mars. And I think we're all ready. We get this little break. Lori's been talking about, if you can buy her year ahead. She does a phenomenal year ahead. She's already done 2026, but the 2025, I think, is still for sale as well. But she talks about September, and we get a little break, and she's been saying that for a while. Yeah, it's very clear here, when we have that separation, and of course, this is next weekend. There's still going to be tense moments during this week, and I'll show you that in a moment. But this full moon eclipse, don't let anybody get you all fear-mongered about this full moon in Pisces. That's an eclipse. Yes, it's an eclipse, but it's an eclipse really happening on the other side of the world. It's just not going to be, it's not going to be that cataclysmic, oh my God, there's an eclipse energy. I knew what you meant, Tina. It's all good. Okay. The other thing happening here is, we do have Venus also at 15 degrees. Now, this is having a more gentle conversation because it's in a quincunx. It's in a semi-sextile to the sun and a quincunx to the moon. It is starting to apply to Mars in a sextile, which is harmonious. This can be very sexy. This full moon has the potential to be a sweet Pisces full moon, full of romantic feelings, full of sexy, full of a very welcome break. And listen, we could all be wanting and needing the escapism that Pisces naturally wants to supply, right? Pisces is like the emergency hatch door away from the more heavy things in life. It's nebulous. It wants to be light. It wants to be emotional. It wants to be poetic. I mean, this would be a great night to plan a really good meal, some Netflix and chill. And again, if you're in membership, there's a whole thing of what I would do with as far as like rituals for full moon that night. Let's look at today, shall we? And today is my brother's birthday. It's also Shelby's birthday, who's over at Awake Space. Quite a few birthdays today. So today we start off with that Sag moon. I loved the Sag moon yesterday. It was in a trine with my Venus and my natal moon, as I taught the workshop in membership and launched the class over at Awake Space for the tarot. It was perfect. Sagittarius, it's Sagittarius and it knows things. So this could be, you could be getting a lot of epiphanies. You could actually, even though it's a fire moon with these aspects, you could feel a little bit more calmed or a little bit in tuned. You could feel aligned with the moon where it is now. As we speak, it's in a really nice sextile with Mars. It is also having a conversation with Jupiter, which is the ruler of the moon. Even though it's in a quincunx, it's still, they are in mutual reception. We have the moon in in Jupiter's sign and Jupiter in the moon's sign. So they understand each other. And as the hours go by, the next couple of hours, you could feel an understanding, a knowing, what we call a claircognizant hint, an understanding about yourself and a magnification of something that it could be a big it could be an intuitive feeling. This could be around something you want to do in the future, the way you want to expand your life. Any way that you are feeling stunted in growth, bored, not happy in a relationship, not happy in a job, it could feel like an overwhelming feeling today of what you want to do to move out of that, to expand, to magnify any kind of joy or growth. And that is what I hope you do with it. Now, there might be hesitation about taking action with it, but I hope that at the very least, you're going to take that energy and make plans. Do we still have the trine between Pluto and Uranus? Yeah, that's moving collective stuff. Is it moving stuff in your chart? Sure, especially if it's aspecting your chart. It's aspecting the shit out of mine, and I'm here for it. I love the growth I'm having. I love the surprises I'm having. It doesn't, Pluto, Uranus trine doesn't mean it has to be bad, especially not on a personal level. This is a shit year, but you know what? I have a pretty good solar return. Go get your solar return done. Sometimes I think people avoid the astrological appointments because they're afraid they're going to hear something bad. When more than often we're like, oh, look, you have an opportunity. This is coming. So if you know it's coming, then you can take your whole ass free will to come meet that moment and make the best out of it. Are we having a shit year out in the collective? Yeah. Can you still personally have a good year and still not be oblivious or apathetic to the things that are going on? Also, yes. Tomorrow, moon moves into Capricorn. Oops. Let's go. Let's put that at a 1 and not a 7. Okay. So tomorrow we start the day with a square from the moon to Saturn. What you want to do, what you should do might feel like two different things. How you're supposed to be following rules might be something that you're reviewing. Also, your authenticity. We just had the summer of self-reflection. I hope for everybody, you are approaching things a little different, that you took that time to self-reflect. You took that time instead of reacting to other people's cray-cray, and we were all cray-cray. We all had moments, right? I certainly had moments where I spun out over something I didn't need to spin out because it was just intense energy for everyone, right? But hopefully we've self-reflected. What are we doing with that new self? What are we doing with that new self? So reinventing ourselves in a more authentic way and finding any way that we weren't authentic. So on deck also right now, we also have a beautiful trine from Jupiter to the North Node, which means we'll probably see a lot of collective empathy moving in the right way, supporting others in the right way. Hi, Odelia. Hi, Teresa. Oh, I'm so happy you're both here. Okay, let me go back. I saw a whole bunch of movement in the chat. So, you know, the beginning of the day, we also have this trine from the moon to Mercury. Tomorrow, again, a lot of people have the day off. It's Labor Day. They could be home with their families. This could actually just feel like a good day. It could feel like a little break. You know, the moon, this Venus and the sun are talking to each other a little bit. Not a big conversation, but they're having a little bit of conversation. Then on Tuesday, this is when the moon in the morning, in the early hours of the morning, will move into into Capricorn. By mid-afternoon, it's doing this interesting trine with Virgo. if you have heart to hearts and things feel soft and gushy tomorrow, maybe a little bit today, you feel gushy with yourself and then you feel gushy with others tomorrow. These are astrological professional terms. So if you're not a professional astrologer, please don't use terms like gushy. Just kidding. So you might feel gushy with yourself today and gushy with other people tomorrow. The part of you that wants to see somebody do better for themselves, or you have a solution or a way or a path, or you want to show them how to forge a path and be strong and all this other stuff. Careful that you don't fly too close to the sun giving advice on Tuesday. That's all I'm going to say about that. This is not my circus, not my monkey's day. That and Wednesday. That trine from Jupiter into the North Node is going to be there for a while. It's also there to the South Node. So watch how you want to move, especially if you're in your nodal return, especially if you're like me and that you have a Virgo Pisces nodal axis. You're gonna be careful not to slip into old bad habits when dealing with people or feeling frustrated. You know, we have the later degrees of Capricorn moon on Wednesday. And again, you know, we still have the trine with Jupiter and Mars. We have that all week. It doesn't start to let up until that Pisces full moon on Sunday. So there could be some tension here. We have a T-square at some point in the day on Wednesday between Mars, Jupiter, and the moon in Capricorn. And the moon in Capricorn, no. You shall not pass. However big and emotional this gets, this has probably been fed up. A Libra Mars, the energy of Libra Mars wants justice and fairness, but they don't want to have the conflict. They don't. So by the time you call for that Libra Mars energy, it's stew potted. It has been a whole stew pot. You're going to get it. And so with the Capricorn moon, this is not a day to have big conversations. Try to avoid them. People could be a little edgier that day. You know, separately, we still have Venus here isn't making a whole lot of aspect. It's going to be up to you to kind of like pull on that Venus energy. If you are a Leo Venus, an Aries Venus, or a Sag Venus, and your Venus is between 10 and like 14 degrees, this is a really good time for you to do money moves, love moves, because you're either going to have a Venus return or you're going to have a trine with that Venus. And that's some good stuff. When we look at Thursday, there's a little bit of relief. Now, the moon and Pluto are holding hands, but the moon in Aquarius likes the progression of Pluto. It likes it. There could be so many strikes of genius this day. We could also see a collective move towards something good here. I'm really hoping that I'm right about that. Again, I'm not the collective prediction person. That is Lori. We have an exact square of the Mars and Jupiter again. So this is a good day to be insular. This is a good day to keep to yourself. Again, I'm going to say Wednesday through Thursday is kind of a not my circus, not my clowns vibe. We're also going to have a conversation between Mercury and the moon. And so this could feel like I'm not getting into the emotions. Let's talk solutions. Let's have a conversation about what needs to be done, what needs to be done better. And it's not personal. This is the day to get that stuff done. As we move into Friday, we finally get a tiny bit of separation from that Mars Jupiter. Either you're going to just give up on that situation, whatever that has been the tension there, or it could have resolution. Especially at this point, we have a beautiful trine between Mars and the moon in air. And I love an Aquarius moon. I hate Aquarius moon slander. I hate Gemini moon slander, and I don't like Libra moon slander either. But especially the air moons get a bad rap. I love an Aquarius moon. I personally love two Aquarius moons in my life, are like two of my favorite humans ever. And I don't see that changing. This is solution oriented. This is solution oriented. And this is also still having, now this is where the Jupiter talking to the Mars, because it's also Aquarius moon comes in here and goes, okay, hold on, everybody take the emotion out of it. How do we move forward? Let's do this the right way. Friday is full of solutions in a good way. And then we have Saturday, which is leading up to that Pisces moon. The moon has moved into Pisces. We really have a decent amount of separation here from the Mars to the Jupiter. Mercury starting to approach the sun. And, as this day goes by and we move closer to that Pisces moon, this feels just like a respite. Don't plan a lot for next Saturday. Plan something for yourself that brings you joy. Plan something that brings you joy. Please. And while we don't want to slide into bad habits on a regular basis, this is a day to do comfort stuff, and Sunday is a day to do comfort stuff. Okay. Do I still have everyone? Oh, I'm so glad you guys are here. I almost said I love when I see old faces, but to me, I know what your faces look like, so it's the same. I grabbed this deck, so we're gonna go all 12 signs. And the first thing we're going to do is pull a card to see what you have the most control over, what you can move. If there's a lot of solutions, and then relaxation and decompression coming towards the end of the week, then let's look at where you have the most power to maybe move something or have a solution for something. And then also let's look at let's look at something good coming for everyone for the end of that week. And then I'll do a separate video for the Pisces full moon specifically, and those will be more detailed readings for each sign. We always want to use tarot to empower people and not make them scared. I mean, am I really honest? Yes, that is a word we'll see a lot if you ever read use. But that's how, right? We can't grow from a place of lying to ourselves. Okay. All right, Aries, let's see. What do you have more power than you realize to, in a situation, around a situation, to solve something, come up with a solution? Maybe the solution is letting go. My cat loves me too much, and he especially loves the minute I put moisturizer on. And then it's fur everywhere. Okay. Aries, what do we have? I'm just going to take a second. We're going to talk about spiritual hygiene too before you pull cards, while you're pulling cards too in that class. Okay. There's a work solution here. There's two things happening. We either have Aries who are trying to keep themselves busy to distract themselves from something else, or we have somebody at work that we work with or work for that's being an absolute raging a-hole. I think Michael. And the thing, yeah, I'm gonna pull a third card for this. I knew these cards were gonna be juicy today. We're also gonna talk about how to pick your deck if you have more than one. How to how to let your guides help you. Okay, yeah. Okay, I lied. We have three situations. I want you to stop trying to impress or prove anything to somebody who's just toxic at work or being an asshole or trying to make you feel like they're the kind of person that does that backhanded compliment to try to make you feel smaller. It's they're a complete douchebag, and that is their like weapon of choice, is to come in and like say something kind of shady. But in a way where nobody else sees that it's shady. Like that's the worst, right? Especially in a work situation. They are their own bunch of bad habits. Some people are put here to show us what it looks like if we're not interested in growth, right? Aries is good at giving it back. I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask you to pull back a little bit, not be as quickly reactionary. There is like this complete resurrection. I don't know if somebody else comes back into like whatever department or something you're in, or there's like a new job opening, something comes back that like seems to have gone away before, that you won't have to handle this situation. And Aries is really used to stepping up. They're about that life. We talked about that in workshop yesterday. Like Aries will throw hands if they're being protective or advocating for something. You're not used to someone advocating for you. That's actually part of this. The other thing is like if you're in a relationship that you've been working really hard to make work, but you find the worst of you coming up in the dichotomy of this relationship, there's if release, because there could be something coming back. Now, for some of you, could this be the old version of you and this other person in the relationship? Yeah, but that's not what I think it is, Ari. You could have somebody, coming back from the past, where they've had growth and you've had growth, and you're not aligning with this current, like either best friend or family member or romantic relationship. There's somebody else coming back, and all of a sudden my throat is scratchy. You're going to go to wokeastrology.com, and it's in the section with reading and classes. Adva, there is a code for members, but I can't say it here. But it's in I said Patreon to go follow Lori. The classes are the same place as the readings. If you go to my website, there is I am now proudly working with Lori. There's a button there that'll just take you to the whole website. And on that website, you're going to go to classes. But there, make sure you peep that. It's the best discount that's going to members of my membership. So make sure you peep that in yesterday's workshop video. It's not too far in. It's in the beginning. And I even put it on the screen before you go. And the code for everybody else I'm like in this, and so I forgot to give out the code because um it's TI Tarot 50 for everyone else. I'm just double checking that. I'll put it in the chat. Yeah. All capitals, TI Tarot 50. If you're in membership, there's an even bigger discount, but that is the discount for. Hi, Farfully. If my mods could do me a favor, I'm going to put that there. I'm going to pin the woke astrology to the top. But if anybody else is looking for the discount, that's where it is. Okay. What's the good thing you have coming, Aries? What's the good thing that you have coming towards the end of the week? You can really enjoy. I might take a third card this week and do just like where there's regenerative rest. There is, because it feels like it's been a lot of busyness for you and not a lot of replenishment. And we need that. We need to like recharge the batteries the same way our phone does. Yeah. There is a lot of you have like it's either a friend or something coming back around. And when I said Netflix and chill, hi Caitlin. When I said Netflix and chill for the end of like this is really coming up hard for you, but it is regenerative for not only your body but your mind. We should all be seeing what we can do to recharge our batteries and find something that brings us joy and happiness, right? Because we have to put our oxygen mask on first so that we can be helpers, right? If we all want to be the helpers that Mr. Rogers talks about, then we have to do something to replenish also. Yes. I just can't wait till my sleep is regular again. Okay. Taurus, right out the gate. I love this. Okay. So there's a situation, Taurus, where, and again, this could be work. You're going to have to give somebody the direct energy that they, hey, Gia, you're going to have to give somebody the direct energy that they give you. There's a situation that's not balanced. It's not fair. And it's uncomfortable. And I know that you maybe don't want to do it depending on your other placements. Maybe you love stepping into that part of yourself. But there is a way, they're saying that solution, and you might feel this towards the end of the week when that moon goes into Aquarius and is hugging Pluto and trining Uranus. You might get the flash of genius of how to word something, which is what I'm getting. If you can put it off until then, till like Friday, Thursday, Friday. You know, when you walk away from something and you're like, man, I should have said this or that. Like somebody said something and you felt like you didn't have a good, if that's ever been you, I'm constantly drinking and my throat is so tickly today. Oh, yo hablo español un poquito. Estudié en la escuela 3 años. Sí. Yo quiero. You're going to find a way. I almost feel like you never have before to string a top. Look at this. It is the King of Swords, but I love this deck because it has both a male presenting and female presenting king in each suit. This is weaving a tapestry of words that leaves somebody speechless. It's righting a wrong, and that's coming, and it feels juicy for you, Taurus. Like, and they have nothing to say. However, you end that sentence, particularly, seems to be key. It seems to be key so that there almost is no response that doesn't make them look mean. And I think you have somebody that's being mean to you. And the way that you nestle it all up, I don't know why, that's never a phrase that I've used, but the way that you like stitch your words together is going to leave them without being able to respond in a way that doesn't make them look worse. Okay. What's good coming for Taurus besides that clapback? And it's not going to be like a saucy clapback. You're going to do it in such a way that like everybody will be like, that was good. And no one's going to think you're the asshole. Ooh, there's a new start in stability. Okay. There's some kind of opportunity coming for you, possibly new financial. It could be a side gig, could be you could fall into something quite literally. And during it's, I mean, we've got that full moon card for you here too. Could be like extra cash, and I don't think it's going to be conventional. And I don't think it's something you would have looked at like 2 months ago, Taurus. Let's look at Gemini. Let's look at Gemini. Oh, I love that for you, Gemini. Gemini, sun, moon. By the way, first reading, Aries, sun, moon, Venus, rising, also first house, sun or moon. The Taurus reading, Taurus, sun, moon, rising, Venus, and also second house, moon or sun. Also, if your guides will just get you to the messages that they want to get you to. And so if it feels like it's for you, just take it. And don't take anything, even if it's for your sign, if it makes you feel like nervous. I'm not here to dysregulate people. Sometimes it just, not every Cancer reading on the internet is for me, right? And just, that's another thing we'll cover in the class, is how to use your discernment for that as well. Okay. Geminis, if you have been going back and forth about a person, a move, or something, We've got the Hangman in reverse. And if you've been on my page for a hot minute, if you know, you know, I have 4 cards that are like, it's time. This is when universe removes the obstacles that were put in your way because it was not cooked yet. It was not ready. It wouldn't have been in your best interest to move on that. I've had a situation where I have absolutely said that, you know, back when I wanted things to work out a certain way, I wasn't at a place yet where I probably would have, if it probably would have fell apart because I wasn't ready for that yet. And universe threw obstacles in the way. I didn't have a choice to find out, right? Universe threw huge obstacles in the way. Now, so from my Gemini loves, 3rd house, sun and moon, this is an indicator that those obstacles are getting moved, which is also probably like a you're ready, the situation's better. We have the 10 of cups. Hello, Zoe, my love. We have the 10 of cups. Your solution is going to be so obvious, Gemini. This could have to do with a water sign. You could also have water sign energy, but wow. I almost feel like that is your something good. Your solution is, the big thing is Gemini goes back and forth and back and forth. And, you know, I have a Gemini Mercury. I can overthink. That's an understatement, right? Ask any of my friends if I can overthink. And sometimes I need to like verbally process and run things past people so that like I can come to like my own, like I can say the thing out loud. So Gemini energy can like don't overthink. When universe finally moves the obstacles out of the way, do not overthink that what else is going to happen next. Just let it come in. Just let it come in. That's the solution. Zoe, that was your comment. I was talking about how one of the comments in the workshop yesterday made me cry a little. That was all you, babe. Okay, what else do you need, Gemini? But what is the other thing coming, or what can you, let's look at for Gemini. What is like the best way for you to regenerate? And okay, there might have been something that you committed to do at the next weekend that you kind of want to do because it's going to make somebody else happy, or I think you're going to want to change plans. I'm just saying that if you have plans that are like busy, and I'm not saying don't show up for people in your life, but like don't commit to the whole day. There's something that you're doing that feels a little bit like a burden, like you're doing it out of kindness or niceness or for somebody else, but it might drain you. It might drain you to go at all or to do this at all. It might just drain you to do it all day. That's what she said. I'm going to say create an escape hatch now for why you can't do a whole day Gemini placements. Whatever you're committing to next weekend, start to make the escape hatch now, because otherwise you're going to feel so stressed about canceling at the last, the whole point of not draining yourself is to give yourself that moment of because we really do energetically and astrologically have a chance to recoup, not hide from the energy because it exhausted us and we need a nap because it's too hard to be awake. Exhausting energy, because that's, I think, what a lot of people have been, like, do something that makes you feel good. Do something that doesn't drain you. And all I'm saying is that you're going to be extra stressed if you wait to the last minute to make it clear that you cannot dedicate your whole day or your whole weekend, or even do it at all, maybe, depending on what the thing is for everybody. Okay, Cancers. Crab gang. I know we have Teresa in here. We're missing our other resident Cancer, Maricela. She's been a traveling lady. Ooh, okay. Cancer, something you manifested. Let's see what the other part of this is. No, that's too many. That's too many. Just one, just one. We can't give more to Cancer than we're giving to everybody else. That's my 7th house moon. Hey, lady. Do it, lady. I know you're laughing right now. Okay. What is the other something you're manifesting? This card always gives me vibes from my old neighborhood and my old house because my mom had wallpaper that looked like this. Okay. Something is moving forward. You have to move it forward. So there is a 6 of Swords. You got to move, you get to, all right. So something you felt toxically anchored to that you've been trying to unanchor yourself, it finally really, you move. But the solution is you can't take everybody with you, Cancer. If you've been having weird dreams or nightmares too, this could have something to do with it. But this is something you want. Tell me this doesn't give you like late 80s, early 90s geese on fucking everything decor. If you know, you know. That was New York in the 80s and 90s. So it could have been like just 90s and other places. Maricela. I literally just said we are missing Maricela. Did you hear me? With your super psychic Cancer Sag moon, Pisces rising. So Cancers, this is something you've wanted. What's interesting too is that this magician is like is also moving in the sky and is held by universe, what have you. This is something you've wanted to move, but now that now that it's happening, it feels like, oh shit, it's happening. Move. You're cardinal, you can move. It's the emotional attachments, right? Like the PhD in being a Cancerian is to get rid of the unhealthy attachments. That work is so worth it. That work is so worth it. And you'll have slide backs where all of a sudden you're attaching and having expectations of outcomes and stuff like that. But the more you move into that place, or that you judge yourself with the love that you, it's going to be hard to find people that are going to nurture and love you the back the way that you give out, because that is just organically who you are. Just don't judge yourself on what everybody, because they're just not thinking about it that way. It doesn't mean you're loved less or appreciated less. It's just not going to be outwardly shown the same way. It's important that you move ahead, and the people that are supposed to go with will go with on their own and not feel resentful that you tried to take them with them and they didn't have their own choices. Ooh. No, it's okay, honey. I was sick last week. Gia wasn't feeling yesterday good in the class. Everybody's been sick. I'm just glad you're feeling better. Right? Traveled the world safely a couple days back at school. Children are And I'm a Cancer. I love kids in general. I love everybody else's kids. I love my kids. Let me just, so don't come for, I mean, you can come for me. I'll have fun with it, but I'm just saying. Um, Kids are like rats. They can look perfectly healthy and be carrying the fucking bubonic plague. So I'm sure it was like 2 days back at work. Okay. You are going to be feeling yourself by the end of this week. Let it happen. Let it happen. There's possibly a glow up. You accomplish something. Something goes way better than you thought. Take it for yourself. It's not selfish, Cancer. Yeah. It helps you put down a burden, possibly a financial burden. This is a really good feeling. They are walking cesspools. Yeah. Just reading my comments. Ooh, we're about to do Leo and the Lovers. I don't know if that is for Two of Cups on one side and the Lovers on the other. And I love this Lovers. I don't know if anybody could see, but the amazing, talented Teresa Griffith, who's in this chat right now, made me that it's hard to see because of the settings I have, but she made me the Lovers card painting in the back there. You can't really see it, but it's the exact of this, and I'm in love with it. So I don't know if that was, well, I guess let's just see what Leo's cards are like. Ooh. Leo, you got the same exact card. It's Cancer, Magician, and y'all just watched me shuffle and you watch that fly out. That's another thing that we'll be going over in that class is even just the shuffling and like all the different ways that you can know whether that's the card you were supposed to get, whether it's like a jump or a dump and all those other things. So if you're pulling for yourself and how to keep your what you like, how to make the cards really read for you instead of reading, like interpreting because that's how you want it to be. I'm so excited. And everybody that's been here a while knows it's a long time coming. Okay. Leo, the love reading may be for you. There's two things happening here, Leo. The solution is some inner child healing. There's something you've wanted, and it's going to take a little bit of self-reflection and looking at probably some dynamic of how you saw what looked like healthy marriages or like what happy ending looks like for you when you were a kid, and deconstructing any way that would have asked you to be less of yourself to achieve those relationship goals, that happy ending, whatever it may be. I think this brings you, but the solution is there's something that's really frustrating you. You could be out of contact with somebody. But when, and again, this is all good too for fifth house. Cancer was good for fourth house, sun and moon. Yeah, I mean, there's something you want and it's like right there. It's just gonna take a little self-reflection. Oh, have fun with the grandbabies, Teresa. Thank you, Juan. Hey, Flower Beauty. All right, let's see. Yeah, there's something that you wanted for a while, and you just have to deconstruct something. Like there was something that like you've been asking of yourself that you don't need to. You don't, yeah, there's something that you think that you have to give of yourself to get those goals, and you don't. So nuanced and interwoven into the fabric of what you had. You know, when I say that to people all the time, I'm going to say something probably unpopular. I personally, because I am in the sessions with the adults who are the children of the parents that stayed together for the children, what we do is we end up inadvertently wanting, just loving our children so much and wanting to give them a happier childhood than we had. But when we're giving them a front row seat to unhealthy, that is the love that they will seek. What they don't see and know, they will. And I mean, I know somebody who's now in their early 60s, it took them until their 40s to deconstruct the perfection that their parents showed them, even though it wasn't like that. And every time there was a fight with like any relationship, they ran because they thought, well, if there was any fighting, that's not it. Like, and so anytime there was a disagreement, and took that personally, and was had really severe trauma manifested behaviors because of the idea that they were broken because they couldn't achieve. And it took until their 40s till like their parents were like, oh no, we were miserable, but we wanted to present happy for you guys, because kids will pick up energetically, right? And so there's something to deconstruct for the fifth house placements, the Leo placements around that, so that you stop asking something of yourself. You shouldn't be asking or compromising something of yourself that you should not be compromising. The good thing that you have coming is this Queen of Wands. This gives me Sun card vibes as well. This is very pep in your step. This is very creative energy, which is perfect for Leo. Let's see what else. Lean into like whatever. Now, if that means you want to get like dressed up and go someplace, like I don't know why, but I'm feeling like, you know, those, which I love right now, those like tea cafes that are popping up everywhere, or like one of those brunches where it's like a bunch of people singing to like Celine Dion or something. Like for some Leos, there's just like a creative, like feel really good, like maybe dress up a little bit or cosplay a little bit, creative energy. Could you just be that you're going to like the game night, or you're creating a game night this weekend? If you have a lot of fifth house placements, planning a game night for next weekend with like a lot of good snacks would be amazing for you, especially with Venus in your sign right now. Yeah, this is super healing. There's a lot of inner child work on deck for Leos and fifth house placements right now. And again, we have Venus in Leo. And if you have your Venus in Leo between 9 and 14, 15 degrees, you're in the middle of the applying Venus return right now. Use that for all of its worth. Do the healing. It's for anyone who watches it. You don't have to be in the live for the reading for it to be you, but every reading can't be for every person. I just got done saying like every Cancer reading on the internet is not for me. Learning your discernment of what you should take and what you should leave is part of what we're going to cover in the trauma informed tarot class. I'm also reading in the context of what the energy is for the week astrologically. Okay, Virgos. This is really, really interesting. Um, there's something that might feel like it's a precipice. There's something that might feel like we have the Fool card and then the Wheel of Fortune upside down. I love the Wheel of Fortune because it's a wheel and we can move it. Same thing with the World card, right? Like the thing about the wheel is like, I don't care if it's upright or in reverse because it's still a wheel and it can be moved. But when it's on the ground, when it's on my table, when it gets pulled, when it comes out organically like this, to me, it's giving there's something that has to change, right? And it's right there for you. You're going to have to take the leap. Now, whether, and Lori does a whole thing about imposter syndrome was like, you know, it was a phrase, a term that got coined, I want to say late 60s or 70s. But that feeling of maybe it's not good enough, right? Like lean into the peacefulness of what you produce and not the pursuit of perfection, Virgos, sixth house placements. Because this is ready, but it will stay like you have to make the leap. It will stay feeling not ready, like, right? Because feeling not ready, like, what's that saying? Ready is a decision, not a feeling. Ouch. Yeah. I am so grateful for Lori for tons of reasons. She made me cry like 3 times this week, in a good way. But one of the things is she does not have my Virgo placements. And so we have Cancerian placements, we have like Scorpio kind of placements. And we have lots of air placements that we relate to. And her moon's on my Jupiter. But she really sets me straight. We're like, if you know, you're just post it, just let's just get the class out. Like it's ready, you're ready. She even said it in her live yesterday because like she was like, why are you depreciating yourself the way you wrote this? I'm rewriting it. I was like, yeah, 100%. We need people like that. I feel weird even saying that out loud, and it wasn't even me that said it, right? So like have people in your life, Virgos, that will like give you that like ready as a feeling, that ready as a decision, not a feeling, and it will stay not feeling ready until you take that jump. Yeah, you guys do. Yeah, Gia, you have a lot of synchronicities with people and the other people in membership. It's pretty cool. That's how people will like find each other, right? Um, that's how community is created. The thing you should like lean into, or that could be good, Virgo, is that there is something light that you don't have to be the expert about. You don't have to think, you don't even have to use your intuition. You get to be a participant and not like, not your circus, not your monkeys, not your clowns in the best way possible this upcoming weekend. You get to sit back and not like not do the thinking, not you don't have to run shit, you don't have to monitor it, you don't have to edit it, like it's light. Whatever you can do this weekend where you are a participant, there is something fun. You're not just sitting at home. For some people it's Netflix and chill. For what I'm getting for sixth house and Virgos, this is just light. You just get to enjoy it. Like that's it. Like nothing. It's funny. I go get lymphatic work every 2 weeks. It is the best thing I've done for my health in like 5 years. I've been trying everything for 5 years, but it's just been crazy good. And I go to somebody that I have known for 15 years. And we know each other well. Like we've snuggled, we have leaned on each other. We've made food to get, but when I go, I'm always her last appointment. And I'm always like, let me help you like undo that. Like, let me, and she was like, no, you're like, sit back and do nothing. You're a client, be a client. Like, sheesh, go sit in the front waiting room, enjoy the Wi-Fi and the quiet. And it's that kind of thing where you may have to be told, like, no, I don't want your help. Go enjoy, but don't push back on that. Try to do something this weekend where even if you cannot resist, but ask, can I help? Can I do something? When you are told no, just sit with that. Just sit with that. Okay. Libras. Ooh, that was a whole dump. No, 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 no. I love this. The solution is you are the shit up in this bitch, Libras. Okay. This is great. All right. We have a Knight of Wands upside down. Now, I don't mind the Knights in reverse because a lot of the Knights, especially this one, this is the panty dropping here for a good time, not a long time, right? They are hot. They might get your thighs going, but it's probably like short term and a little toxic. Now, listen, why are you trying to mess with mine? Right? Like, if I like, if you want to hit it on the weekend, great. As long as everybody's in the understanding. The problem with the Knight of Wands is making you think like, where have you been my whole life? When they're like, yes, where have you been my whole life? And then in 2 weeks, you're going to be like, oh, well, they're gone too. Okay. So as long as everybody's up front and we had it would be better if a Knight of Wands would just wear a name tag saying like, yeah, I'm not going to stay around, but God, is it going to be good? Great. Wonderful. Right. As long as we all know. This is you. You have more power. Use your fucking power, Libras. First of all, if you're a Libra and you are run by Venus, I haven't really met a whole lot of uggo Libras. They got something. And if they're not aesthetically pleasing in some way, listen, and everybody's somebody else's cup of tea. I got a thing for Jeff Goldblum. So, and I think Channing Tatum looks too. I think he's hilarious and I'm sure he's a lovely human. I'm just saying physically does not do it for me. Jason Momoa doesn't do it for me. Jeff Goldblum, yeah. Colin Firth, yeah. I mean, I can appreciate aesthetically pleasing people. I'm just saying, like everybody's, but the thing that Libra will have in droves is charm. And sometimes you all don't step into that Venusian power. Yeah. This person that's coming in and out and making you try to jump through hoops because there's some kind of chemistry. No, this is you and this is there. Make them be upside down. The solution is you're the shit up in this bitch. And so just own that. You're run by motherfucking Venus. And the evening expression of Venus, it's subjective. You get to be who you want, how you feel, dress how you want, do your hair how you want, don't do your hair how you want, be a hot mess, be dressed up. Who fucking cares? It's subjective, it's art. You get to say whether you like it. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder is never more true than when it's Libran Venusian energy. Full stop. That's your solution. It's boss energy. Okay. What is good coming? What is good coming? That's not even a sentence. Can do things with my feet. It's true. It's on the wall at the Denny's. Okay. You're going to get a message this weekend. Now, listen, whether this person you're going to close some doors and open others this weekend. You might have a little fun in your DMs chatting, reliving things. What I believe is going to happen here at Libra placements, sixth house placements, is this conversation gauges you. Hey, Laura, I don't have my glasses on. This conversation is the kind of, oh my gosh, I was just talking, actually, Lori and I were on the phone sometime, one of the times this week, and we were talking about like when one person grows and another doesn't. And there was somebody that, this was a while ago, but they came back into my life. And years before that, I would have considered that one of the big like possibilities of like the person. And we were so finished everything. Like it was just all good. And when he came back around, because he was like Burger from Sex and the City, he was the don't hate me. Literally used to sit like I was like, did somebody watch and recorded for this series? Because that was my experience. Not quite the post-it note, but close. But everything was like this, the Zaza Zoo and the whole and the finishing and so good, and we were so funny and blah blah. And when he came back around, I very reluctantly agreed to go out on a date. And by the end of the date, I was like, oh, you're still the exact same person as you were, I think it was like 8 years before that, maybe 10, exact same person, like mentally. It was the empty vase. Very nice to look at. When you have your conversation with this person, sixth house placements and Libra placements, this might have been somebody who you felt like, oh, that's a what if. And then when you engage with them, you're going to be like, wow, I've grown a lot. I'm so different. I don't have to stay in that frame of mind anymore. There's a lot of empowerment for you this week, Libras. That Mars is doing its job. Yeah, have fun with this communication, but it leaves you feeling like so aware of your growth, so aware, like all in the best ways. Hi, Anastasia. What's good coming? It's not even I don't, yeah. I I'm the asshole that hears when people say, oh, you know, I'm doing good instead of I'm doing well. So for me to, I don't point it out, but I hear it. I would like to say I don't hear it, but I do. Anybody else like that? Is this a better time later? You guys let me know in the comments if this is like when the video is over. If this was a better time for you to catch this, I'll move. I have no problem. It would give me a morning to actually sleep in. You had a surprise. I'm here this weekend. Like I had nothing to do. Okay, we're on Scorpio. How you doing, Scorpios? Okay, you're trying to keep everything in balance so much that you're not using your intuition. Scorpios, you're the sign of like below the depths psychic. You're either avoiding something, you're avoiding asking a question that you kind of already knew the answer to. Um, and I get that. You're keeping things in balance because when things are out of balance for a Scorpio, it's like Not everybody else is out of balance. It's out of balance, like with gasoline on it, right? Which you also don't mind all the time because it lets you know, like to stick your hand in the flame because then you know you're alive, and you're feeling. I'm gonna pull a third. I don't want to give any bad advice. Scorpio in the house. I know I got so many Scorpios in this community and I love it because they're not about the bullshit. So I feel like it's a good gauge on how my readings are because Scorpios did not hang out if it was like sappy or like bullshittery, saying all kinds of words that don't exist today. Yeah, okay. You are going to keep something amazing from yourself as long as you keep avoiding what your gut is telling you. Because everything's in balance now, and balance is better than on fire. And I get that. This thing you decide, right? Because for some people, it's going to be better to stay in that balance. It's going to be better to play that game because it keeps you busy and because you can do it, right? And you can do it better than a lot of other people because you understand the depths and the contrast. You can be in both sides of that contrast and you know both sides well. So you have to do what's best for you, Scorpio. But if you want something and it's a really good something, it's on the table for you. I think you just don't want to see this thing on fire, so you're avoiding it. But the solution is to sit, let somebody else give you a reading. You give yourself a reading. You trust your own gut. You know, trust is such a big thing with Scorpios. That is where the intimacy is. It isn't the nakedness. It isn't the touching. It isn't the brown chicken, brown cow. It's the trust. That's where the intimacy really lies. You remember finding out you were Scorpio rising about 21 years old, and I was blown away because as you've gotten older, you feel it much more. Yeah, I didn't resonate with a Virgo. I thought that had to be wrong. It's not. I have a birth certificate at the time, so like it's not. But I remember when I was like 19, somebody was like, "You're a Virgo rising." I'm like, "No, that can't be wrong. That can't be right." Yeah. But as we get older, we unfuck ourselves and then we really kind of lean into what we were always supposed to be. Very interesting. The death card is coming up a lot. Scorpio, this is your card. This is a resurrection for you. You might get like a whole new lease on life. You're going to do it quietly this weekend. Very regenerative for you. For Scorpios, I'm going to say if during the Pisces full moon, you want to just lay low, that might be the time that you need with yourself to build that trust, to lean into that thought. But it's almost like you can't be running and picking everybody up, and you can't be doing, and it might feel busy this weekend because Labor Day weekend, it's next weekend. Because that's what we're looking at to give you time to prepare this week, right? Two major arcana. So this is like a major going in and finding the inner wisdom and regenerating and you know, you can do the Phoenix shit in your sleep. You could teach it. And sometimes like I said in the first, like the busyness to keep the balance feels like it helps to keep the balance. If that makes sense to you, it'll make sense to you. I'm not going to over explain it. But seeking the solitude and allowing that to get filled with your own thoughts and emotions and trust that that won't make shit go on fire. Ooh, that just came in strong. not just a hermit, not just to do the regenerative rest, Scorpio, but allow it to just be your own thoughts and emotions, and trust that that is not the thing that'll throw everything off balance. That because if you cannot trust your own thoughts and emotions, how are you going to allow something really great to come in? I'm speaking the truth. Well, I'm glad. And from a Scorpio placement, I'm always going to take that as a high compliment. Okay. Sagittarius. And then we only have 3 more left. Listen, it's been a lot lately. I'm going to give away a 15-minute reading at the end of today. I'm going to give away a 15-minute reading. Just a little. It'll be tarot only. And it will just be 15 minutes. Okay. Sagittarius is getting a whole day. Your card came out and there's a waiting period. There's like a balancing and a waiting period that feels uncomfortable for Sagittarius. I don't know that this isn't about spending. There's something you might want to put down. Aw, thank you, Danny. Um, there's something you want to like put down money for or whatever. There's another part of this. I don't know if it's somebody else that you're supposed to maybe go on a vacation with or do something or put money in, and like just if you just hold on, if you just wait, there's either someplace else, like either A, you don't have to spend the extra money on this thing. Like something's going to go on sale. Like you think that there's a sale this weekend or something because it's Labor Day, but a lot of times those are inflated. Or somebody's telling you like, oh, this is the best price you're going to get. For just a few of you, there's something that you're planning to do with somebody else. Somebody might be a little flaky, but it's just asking you to be a little bit more. Both of these cards ask for patience, and Sag, not about that life. You have stuff to do. You have places to grow. You have things to see, right? If any part of, like if people are trying to talk you out of, like you want to wait, but people are trying to talk you out of it, trust yourself. There's something, wait, especially if this is around money. You're heading to Italy on Tuesday. I'm so jealous. I have to go. That it is like my soul's calling. Since I'm very little, I have had a thing for Italy. I definitely spend a lifetime there. And all my Italian friends call me an honorary Italian because there is something about all of it. I'm so jealous. Have a very safe trip. I'll do an intuitive exercise for the reading. That's how I always do it. Okay. Um, the thing that's coming good is very interesting. It is time. There is something coming, Sagittarius. Somebody is going to come out of their ego. You're going to watch somebody have an ego death and come correct. There's no other way to say it. This has been something you've been waiting on, Sag, but their ego goes away and you totally get to, you might be getting an apology, or you're going to get, I feel like for a few of you, there's somebody that you're like, I feel like they've changed so much. We want people to change, right? Sometimes people change and we're like, wow, they changed so much, and we outgrow each other. This feels like something was going on, possibly a person that they were defending. I don't know. But you feel like you get back. Maybe it's getting back yourself, but this ego death sends off, like I'm seeing dominoes, like when one domino goes down in a whole pattern, like in a good way. And you've been waiting on this, and you've been so patient with this one person. And I feel like you get like a treasured, here's the Lover's card again at the bottom. I'm waiting for it to come out. It's so weird. Okay, I'm going to put different cards on the bottom so you can see that I'm not constantly moving that. All right, let's look at Capricorn. We have 2 Capricorn placements in here. What part of Italy are you going to, Laura? Speaking to your 9th house sun. That Leo, one of your dispositors? Okay. Wow, a lot of it's time coming around. Capricorn, same card. You guys are watching me shuffle. You're watching the cards fly out. Someone or something you've been putting a ton of work into. And Capricorn work is nothing to shake a stick at. If a Capricorn is giving you all their time and effort, that is their currency. That's the most precious thing to them. This is something you've been putting it pull back. You're not going to change this person. You're not going to change the situation. And you're not being appreciated for the expertise that you are bringing. You are trying to make this something good. You can see its potential. The solution is to pull back, because as long as you keep doing all the work, they're going to keep letting you. Like, the thing is too, is that you have led by example, and you have taught without knowing that you taught, and they know what to do. They're just letting you do it. And if you pull back, I think you're actually, what's important to Capricorn is to know that they left a mark on people, places they've been, right? Capricorn might as well be the Kilroy. Kilroy was here. I was here. Because you've left your mark on it, because people are better for it, because the system is better for it. Something runs better for it, because you were like, hey, there's a way to do this. Let me show you, right? And when you pull back is when you're going to see all of what you didn't realize you were teaching while you were leading by example. Oh, how nice, Laura. Oh, thank you, Zoe. Yeah, sharing is caring. If you share the live, liking is helpful. Sharing is super helpful. Even if you copy the link, it goes nowhere. No one has to know. What is happening? What can you look forward to? Okay, definitely just like Taurus, another earth sign. That full moon is really bringing something good for you. A full moon in Pisces. I feel like there's connection here. There's like, nope, Capricorn has to have the same as everybody else. I feel like there's a connection here. Oof. Capricorn, somebody you've dealt with before. There's a lot of death card, a lot of people coming back. This could be, it's most likely somebody from your 20s or younger. Could be a friend, but this is what's coming in that's good for you. like that you're going to have joy around. There's a reconnection, and it takes you back to like the core of who you are. Like you can be relaxed around this person. It definitely could be romantic. And if it is romantic, it could be like college sweetheart, high school sweetheart, that kind of thing. Or just old neighborhood person that you guys had, like you both went different ways with different people, and now you're both divorced. I don't know. There's something around that. Let's look at Aquarius. Jump, jump, oh my love, jump in. That dance. Yeah, I mean, Colin Firth's broken Portuguese proposal. But I mean, I am a Colin Firth girl. I am a Mr. Darcy girl. He could come with those sideburns and just look at a camera and walk away and say nothing. Okay. Aquarius, there's somebody coming at you. This is a common occurrence for Aquarius. You guys are full of solutions. So sometimes that attracts people who are full of drama and problems. And for every solution you can give them, they can find another problem to have around it. I think that you need to be done with that person. That is the first thing coming out for a solution. I want you to hear this because it just came in my head, my whatever. If you have somebody that keeps coming to you like this, that is starting to drain. Because like the minute I pulled this card for Aquarius, I literally have a headache. I was so happy 3 seconds ago talking about like Colin Firth, Mr. Darcy. I instantly like head feels heavy, the whole thing. I would like you to put this phrase in your back pocket. I think you're so smart. And like, what advice would you give somebody when they come to you for what you should like? I don't know. I think like you're the person I would go to advice. Like, what would you do if somebody else came to you with this exact problem? What would be the advice you give them? Just keeping that energy. Put the burden of the what to do back on it. Don't keep finding them solutions. Send them back in their own loop. Paging Tom Hardy. Don't play with me. I have to keep my composure. I am live on YouTube right now. I want to say something, but I'm not because I'm a very private person. But just imagine that you took Jeff Goldblum and Mr. Darcy, Colin Firth, kind of mostly Mr. Darcy, and Tom Hardy and rolled them all together. That person exists in real life, and I am not sharing any more than that. Okay, that helped my headache. Aquarius, throw them back to their own advice because they're not going to stop until you stop. What else is happening here? Could this card come out more? This card, the death card, the hangman in reverse. We keep, which is why when I read for the astrology, the same cards will come up because we're all experiencing the energy. There's a person around you that did not have a good relationship with the parent. The parent probably brushed them off like a lot or told them that they were dramatic. They need to go look at that. This is not your circus, not your monkeys. I told you that's a big thing coming this weekend. You have to, it'll seem almost unkind when you're like, well, take your own, like, I would trust you. Like, you know, with your advice, like, I think you're very smart, blah, blah, blah. Don't ask them, did you have like, because that's just going to trigger them, and then they're going to be a mess, and they'll be your mess until you kind of get them to the point where they can get high off their own supply and realize, like, the whole point is to not put you in the burden of constantly having to hold space for somebody that's not really looking for solutions. They're looking for attention. And it doesn't make them a bad person. We're not shaming that. It's the inner work that they haven't done. But we don't want to keep teaching them that we're that place to go to and drain us. And B, the more you keep saying, if somebody came to you with that same exact problem, what advice would you give them? If they have to relate their own problems to themselves again and again, they're gonna eventually, hopefully, if they're even ready for that kind of movement, they will hear themselves. Yeah, and Love Actually dances to the Pointer Sisters song after he tells the sexist, abusive, ridiculous American president to go F all the way off because he's gross with one of the female staffers. Foreshadowing, maybe. It's such a that's such a great movie. Can't watch it. Well, it depends. If you watch the TV version, you can watch it with kids, but if you watch the actual movie version, like if you watch it from like, well, I don't know, Peacock probably wouldn't edit it either. But yeah, can't watch it with like young kids. Because there's like corn stand-ins have a whole storyline, and it's they're corn stand-ins, so you see. And I don't mean the kind that grows in Oklahoma or Kansas. But it's great. Oh God, the caroling scene. The thing that is coming in, we have the sun. Again, we have a situation to be celebrated. The old part of you that healed and this new version of you gets to meet something again, but like it creates a whole new storyline for this in your life where you get to be really celebratory and happy and feel energetic around it. Could it be a relationship? Possibly. It could just be like you were presented with the same thing 5 years ago and you weren't ready for it, or it didn't go well. It goes well now. Maybe it was like trying to own your own business or trying to start your own. I don't know. Honestly, but Aquarius, this is amazing. You have the Sun card. And again, two major arcana, just like Scorpio, the fixed signs are really having some readings here. And I just got full body chills. This Pisces full moon, if we're not scared of what's happened in the past and understand that we're meeting our new healed version, and we're always healing, but the newer, more healed version of ourselves than we did the last time this came around, there is really beautiful possibilities opening up. Okay, last one, Pisces, and then we'll give away a reading. And then I have an appointment. Ooh. Pisces, you get to completely remake a situation. You had choices and you sacrificed some things to make a choice, and you would like to redo that. You get a chance in this full moon to redo it feels like a big choice, and you might have been influenced by somebody else and not have trusted your own judgment. The solution is you do get a second chance at this. Wow. Again, another major arcana on the board. For some of you, this may be like the now deconstructed, not spirituality, not like a belief in whatever your faith is, but like a belief in some of the man-made rules around an organized religion, and some of the deconstruction and like your understanding of all of that now lets you redo this, that when this opportunity comes up, there's a lot of like, wow, second chances this week, as long as we're putting our energy towards the thing that helps us and not spin it on something else that's not ours to control or help. But for the timestamps, I think she's thanking you for the timestamps, Juan. Everybody should be thanking Juan. Juan is the reason 99% of the time that we have timestamps. He does a lot on this channel. Okay. Pisces, you get to make a move. And I'm going to ask you to move in silence. There is something, oof, I want a third card. My whole body has chills. Yeah. Okay, listen. I think somebody is also coming back, possibly for Pisces, or a situation that's similar, or a person that reminds everybody of a person that didn't go well. I want you to, you might feel like a connection. One, I want you to move in silence, even from this person. I don't want you to be like, oh my God, I feel such a don't do that yet, Pisces, because you're probably not wrong, because you can feel things on another level, right? The learning to move inside, not putting expectations on this, and not Neptuning the possibilities. As grounded as you can, this moves, this is big, but I want you to just move quietly, celebrate it, write it out, do all the celebrations with how far you've come, that you've attracted this in, instead of the focus being on finally universe gave me somebody that I feel connected to, that's like such a good person, that's so attractive, or makes me feel amazing, or like the sexual chemistry is there. This is so important, Pisces. I'm looking you in the eye. I don't want you to thank universe for finally bringing, I want you to thank your fucking self for everything you did to calibrate the antenna that allows that attraction of a quality person, because you had to understand yourself worthy of that quality person. That is you. You did that. That is your work. I don't want you to thank some arbitrary anything. As an astrologer and metaphysical practitioner, I'm telling you to be fucking pragmatic about this and thank your damn self, because you did the work to recalibrate our own antennas. Venus is about value, including self-value. So you had to bring this person in. And now you celebrate that part instead of focusing all your energy on what they're going to do next, or what this is going to look like in 6 months or a year. But just quietly for now, trust me on that. Zaddy, Astro Zaddy forever. That's for you, Juan. Thank your damn self. Okay, listen, I'm going to hold something. I am holding something. And it's a very specific color. You want to thank me, Snoop Dogg. Yes, Snoop Dogg the shit out of it, Pisces placements. I want to thank me. Yes. Go look up that speech. I want that on your phone. I want that typed out as an alarm. Start thanking yourself. Thanking yourself. Okay. I am holding an object that is a very certain color. It just happened to be on my desk. And whoever guesses the right color, I'm giving away a 15-minute tarot. You will have to be able to get your reading, you have to go to my website and press the contact and fill out the contact form that you won. And then I will email you the link that you will need so that you can book your 15-minute appointment. We're not going to arrange it through email or anything. You're going to book it like a regular person. Okay. You have to claim it within a week of today, and then you have to use the reading within 8 weeks. Okay, I'm going to think of the color that I'm holding right now. Okay, that did not take very long because you're all a bunch of intuitive motherfuckers. Okay, so it is pink. Was pink. Can you all see that? That is very, very pink. Zoe, you certainly have my email. Contact me. We'll get you a 15-minute, which is perfect because Zoe is having her Saturn return right now. You can add to it if you want to go to my metaphysical page and get a tarot only reading. You can do that. And just last reminder that I'm having the tarot class. The pinned comment has the woke astrology and the this is the that is the code for the that's the code for the tarot class. That's a big chunk off. It'll end up being like 40 something dollars. If you are in membership, there's a better code. So anybody in membership, that is the biggest discount. And that is in yesterday's, it's towards the beginning of yesterday's workshop, which is posted for members only. And I literally put it on the screen. I'm not going to say what that is here, but that is also a good chunk. And it's 4 nights. It becomes about $10 a night. And we're going to cover a lot. And you can sign up for that on Woke Astrology, and that comment is pinned. Zoe, I will see an email from you. I love you, know you love you. And that advice is not just for Pisces. If something good is coming in, stop giving this like arbitrary wandering to some other thing. Okay. Yes, we can have good transits, whatever. Your free will has to meet every energetic and astrological opportunity. If you did the work, take the fucking credit for the work, because that gives you a lot more agency. And right now, when things feel helpless and hopeless, the more empowered and the more understanding we have within our own control of things and how much agency we have on a daily basis or in our life in general, the more that we can create support for ourselves. So then when we are in shitty, hard times like this on a collective, we know how to ground ourselves. We know where we can evoke change. We don't feel helpless, dysregulated, and unnerved all the time, because that's not healthy. That's not healthy. You should always be celebrating all the times. You should Snoop Dogg the fuck out of every time something happens good. I want to thank me. Can you thank support? Yeah, I thank my guides all the time, but I created the relationship. I proactively created my healing. I proactively created the relationship with my guides. I proactively took the harmful language out of when I'm talking to myself. I still have to give myself credit. And when somebody goes, you changed my life, Suzzy, I offered tools. I put them on the table. You pick them up, you use them. I'm a conduit. I don't change. You change your lives. I love those emails. I got one last night. I love them. They make me cry. And also, you chose to pick up the tool. You did the work. You get the credit, not me, not arbitrary stuff, because that same way of thinking makes us feel more helpless than we ever need to. There are absolutely people in extraordinary circumstances in marginalized communities. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about every one of us. There's little spaces in our lives where we can create agency, pick up the tools, meet things with our free will, deconstruct so we can reconstruct. Allow yourself boundaries, and then allow rejection from other people, because without, on one side of boundaries is rejection. Normalize, some people are going to reject you and not make it about you. That's their boundary. That's their thing. That's a them thing. And then you get to have your boundaries, which means somebody on the other side of your boundary is going to feel rejected. And it's all balanced and healthy. We need the yin and the yang. Okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox, have a fucking snack, do a fucking reading. And I hope you all have an amazing day. I really do. I love you. Know you love you. Bye, everyone.